Coming at you as graceful as a baseball tooting spin moving harder than a lineman making a block. Wyatt Millum, of course, at the end of the rookie video. I always shout out that thing because Travis D. Holmes, Big Cat Country, did a great job getting that stuff. Because I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game here. Welcome to the Duval Dive. Of course, all you Duval devout out there, thanks for jumping aboard. We're glad to have you here, of course. Listen, we're still reaching into the mailbag. You guys had a lot of fantastic questions for us, but your question for this one was, well, let's just say I feel like it stood on its own, but it's so good and yet so deep for all the Duval divers out there. There's no way I'm going to do this by myself. I have my diving buddy right here with me, my personal champion, Big Cat Country's own Travis D. Holmes. Are you ready to get crazy, Travis D. Holmes?
I think we should get crazy. I mean, maybe we should get a little bit bold. I don't know. How are you feeling about this?
It's time. I don't know. I know boldness is a thing that's happened a lot throughout this offseason, thanks to one man in particular. I'll hint it that way. You know.
Hey, one of the trademarks of our leadership group is that when there's an opportunity to be bold, we won't flinch.
Okay, James, I hear you. Well, how bold you want to get? Let's talk about this. How bold are we getting with this? So NSFB from the Jaguars Discord asked us a interesting question in this month's mailbag. What's your spiciest, boldest, crackheadiest Jags opinion post-draft? For me, personally, I think Travis Hunter playing free safety would be sick. Interesting.
So as much as I love the question, and thank you, NSFB, for jumping in, but you want that bold take, the crackheadiest take, as said by Travis. I don't think Travis Hunter playing safety is that crackheaded, frankly. But I'm going to let you lead this one. What is the nuttiest thing you think when you got a bold take for this offseason there, partner? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
I mean, the boldest, craziest, wildest, oddest thing that they could probably do. All right, if I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, I would probably say play Eric Armstead at edge for 70% of his snaps. But if we're not saying something like that, I actually have said on occasion this offseason after they hired Anthony Campanelli at DC that I thought putting Jarian Jones at safety wouldn't be bad also. So he said Travis Hunter, but I've actually said that because I thought he could potentially have some issues getting on the field. If you have Jordan Lewis playing dominant, cornerback as your outside corner on early downs, you have Tyson Campbell on the other side. Let's say you're not in a nickel situation, but you want to get your best 4 guys on the field or occasionally your best 5. All right, cool. Then put Caleb Ramsaw back there. Put yourself in a 3 safety situation and put Jarian Jones back. I thought that would be an interesting option just to get your best guys on the field. And he's a solid tackler in the slot also, so you can just kind of maneuver these guys as should be. I don't think that's so crazy, but also people have told me it was a crazy take, so that's where I'm at.
It's a little crazy too, in that we've even heard Jarian Jones talk about, hey, I was like, yo, Coach Cohen, can I go outside? Can I go outside? It's like we both got little kids. Can I go outside? Can I? Coach Cohen has already said yes. Yeah. So it's not that I think what you're saying is bad. I'm pretty sure that ship's already sailed. In your defense, it's more crackheady. Yes, apparently that's the adjective for the show. It's more crackheady than what NSFB put in the question himself with Travis Hunter doing it. I agree with you there. But as far as Jarian Jones going to safety, it's not that I would hate it on its surface, but I feel like that offers missed opportunity. Right. No disrespect to Jordan Lewis.
You want me to give you a better one, a more bolder one?
If you got it.
Walker Little and Anton Harrison won't be your starting tackles this season.
Ooh!
Is that better?
We've hinted that they're in jeopardy, but you went like Tuco in Breaking Bad, and you're like, I know that's not correct.
You wanted the boldest.
I'm telling you, delivered. You delivered. That's all I'm saying. You asked the question. You went full Kobe. You said job ain't finished. Here you go. That's what you did. I'm okay with it. Let me be clear.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay.
Is it week one?
That's
Is
it.
Walker Little taking
great-
snaps with Anton Harrison? Ain't
The
over.
great Kobe Bryant. I'm simply acknowledging that there is a non-zero chance that Wyatt Millum wins the right guard job. Let's say he beats out Patrick McCarry, or something along those lines, and Patrick McCarry ends up competing for that right tackle or that left tackle spot with Walker Little, with Anton Harrison, and then you have Fred Johnson, who also is competing for both of those spots because both of those guys can't play swing tackle. But the way that those guys run block, and the way that that Anton Harrison does not run block, or at least has not in the NFL to date, and again, you're talking within a new scheme, I think there's absolutely in the new scheme a non-zero chance that either of these guys, and in some world, both of these guys could be just moved out simply by other guys showing that they have the ability to run block. And Liam Cohen has shown us one thing: the ability to run block is going to be super important, and it's going to be primary in this offense. He did the same thing in Tampa Bay. That's kind of how I feel. So I think it's quote unquote crackheady-ish, while also not necessarily being so when you're just talking about the fact that this is a new staff and don't make assumptions, man.
Here's where I will give you credit. Is it crackheady? Yes. You know what else it is? Intangibly rich. No, I think for all the crackheadedness, I think that's a good take. Here's the thing. Here's the one where I'm going to get Rotten Tomatoes thrown at me, in my opinion.
Okay. Cool.
Here's what it's going to be. There's no real good way to lay this out, but I still feel like there's an element of truth here, if nothing else.
Come on, Cletus. Come on.
Look at the entire AFC South. Travis D. Holmes and the AFC South, we are experiencing a power vacuum. The Colts don't know what their quarterback situation is, even remotely. Sure, the Titans have Cam Ward, but can they even protect him yet? They've done some things to address it, but you're on the back of a rookie quarterback. You don't know what's going on there. You ain't scared. They might be better than last year. Okay, sure. What a high bar that is. And I don't feel like the Texans have adequately addressed protecting C.J. Stroud, even though he represents the other franchise quarterback in the division. The only nucleus that looks relatively stout overall might be the Jags, on the strength of the fact that their O-line is now in flux in a way it hasn't been. That's right. They're more stable because they're in flux. This power vacuum in the AFC South, Travis T. Holmes, makes the Jacksonville Jaguars playoff competitive.
Ooh.
How's that for your crackheaded take?
Ooh. Playoff competitive Jacksonville Jaguars. May 4th, what is it? May 16th, 2025. Interesting. All right,
because
cool.
I got
that's not bad. Now I wished I would have heard you say playoff, like AFC South champions, Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a take, but I know that's a little crazy.
Oh, hold on, whoa. Playoff competitive. The only way they're making the playoffs is if they win the division. I just told you AFC South. I just didn't say it out loud like that. But because AFC South is in a power vacuum right now, C.J. Stroud will not be kept upright the way he needs to be. Fortunately for him, and by the way, I'm glad to say it, I like watching this dude play. I don't care who he plays for. And he's going to get a lot of catches out of Christian Kirk. I think this receiver core, if healthy, can make that team dangerous enough on offense. I'm not questioning that part. But he's going to take hits. I'm not here to say he's going to be the next Tua Tagovailoa, but I am here to say they did not do enough to protect him.
Right.
We saw what the Texans did last year. And your best improvement, air quotes, was taking the left tackle that the Jags got rid of. And that's the guy that's supposed to win the entire this is the franchise that's supposed to be the dominant franchise in the AFC South. Meanwhile, the Titans, sure, you have this real big expensive receiver core, which also features an aging Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley. It's so hot. Anyways,
Yeah, I had an hour and a half podcast on under review with Buffalo Bills guys. Shout out to those guys.
Shout to
And
cover one,
we
no
broke
doubt.
down this entire AFC South. And to your point, you're spitting facts right now. Like, the fact of the matter is, you're in the CJ Stroud. This is going to be the first year we're going to be able to see whether or not CJ Stroud has the mental capacity to kind of carry this offense for the Houston Texans. And what I mean is, he's never had to make those checks in that Bobby Slowick, Kyle Shanahan kind of offense. Like, that was already built in within the system. This will be his first year of quote unquote letting Russ cook, kind of in that sort of an offense. So where he's controlling the checks. At the same time, he may have an offensive line that's not able to protect him. So though they abandon the run game too frequently early on because you have a quarterback that you haven't seen do those things, that's going to be some of those conversations of whether or not that's what it looks like when it goes bad, is that let Russ cook situation where you get a little too heavy in passing the ball early on, and you get away from the run game. And what it looks like when it's good is like veteran Matt Stafford. The question of the hour is, we don't know what is that going to look like with CJ Stroud when he's getting hit, because you got Trent Brown, who missed most of 2024 with an injury. And 32? He just turned 32. And you got Cam Robinson, who's had multiple mediocre seasons lately. I mean, Jacksonville Jaguars, you know who he is.
Can't stay on the field anyway while we're having the conversation.
Yeah, I don't even know that if Cam Robinson is necessarily better than Laramie Tunsil right now.
I would say no.
Replacing. So, yeah, I don't think they've done enough to solidify that offensive line. And now you got a quarterback who has the ability to check. And that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. That's a freaking coin flip. We'll see.
And I didn't even finish my conversation about the Colts.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No. That's the thing. You're subscribing to the power vacuum, which is ironic because when one talks about a vacuum, one thinks of something that would suck. This division has done that the past couple of years. But the punchline's this. How many times did the Jags last year as a 4-win team be in a position where you feel like they should have beaten the Texans? How about both times? Right?
Right. This is the team. This is the team that absolutely could be dominant, or it could be a dogfight across all the teams, because you don't know where the heck these guys are going to land, because every team has questions on their offensive line. Literally all four of them have questions on their interior offensive line in the AFC South. And the Colts also just happen to have a quarterback question vacuum, whatever you want to call it there. So across the board, this is going to come down to which team is building this the right way, which team is going to develop these guys in the right way, and who rises to the top. For this Jacksonville Jaguars offensive line, and the same exact questions are happening across the rest of the AFC South, unfortunately.
Thus, because the Jags have the most movement, they may have questions, but if this is a multiple choice test, their answer bank seems to be the largest of the four teams.
A lot of those guys with that versatility. Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that one, man. All right, yeah, I'm with you on that bold take. At least I'm on. And if you don't mind, we're gonna just knock out the second one real quickly. Give me it's a blitz answer. This is from Lavi on Facebook. I believe Lavi Wellner on Facebook. Who's everyone's surprise cut from the roster? Someone that most assume will have a roster spot. Do you have one for that one?
So the thing about
that
cuts,
most assume will have a roster spot.
You know what? I'll just say it. Devon Hamilton. The only reason that's a bad take.
That's fair.
The only reason that's a bad take is I don't think they have somebody in the building right now to replace him. But they have cleared.
They don't have another nose tackle, zero technique, one technique guy other than Jordan Jefferson.
We've talked about on this show that they've cleared room for that, and that could be coming post July 1st. Now, if that happens, bro, you better be ready for the Nostradamus episode.
That's a tough one, because to your point, like, I think it's if you say cut, if you say trade, I would think like Devon Hamilton could be absolutely someone who could fit that mold. But when you say cut,
like a Roy Robertson Harris situation happens this year to him. Even
if it's a 7th round or something. I'm with you there. Like, but saying cut just makes it feel different. Like, oh, who could they cut that is like you just truly believe has to be on this roster? Maybe like Chad Muma. Like that feels easy,
See,
and I
that
don't
ain't
think
a
that's
surprise because I've been called that a few times already.
Yeah, right. It's too easy.
How
So
about
like,
this one? You want me to break some hearts? I'll break some hearts for you, Travis T. Holmes. Parker Washington.
See, now you're talking. We've all written him in as that wide receiver 4. The coaching staff has commented on him, and he does contribute on special teams. Like that will be a harder one. But again, that's still that whole cut versus trade conversation.
It all
I don't
starts
think
with
it would
baseball
happen.
tooting
But
if he
it's
competes.
a surprise cut. You're not wrong, man. That's a solid one.
And by competes, I mean is the kick return. By the way, I know he's a different position.
I got a great one. I got a great one for you.
All right, get yours in, brother.
Luke Fortner. I'm joking.
You broke your heart on the inside because see, you're all. I mean, he would be. I feel like there's a chance he becomes the third center before the end of the year. I'll grant you that.
No, man, that wouldn't be a surprise to anyone. They just drafted Jonah Monheim and they got Robert Hainsey. Like that would not be a surprise, but I think it'd be hilarious.
I was confused with where you stood since he's the best backup center in the
best
NFL.
backup center in the NFL. Yes. We know that crazy 2024 take that was still awesome. I don't care what y'all say. Right. So that's what I got for that, man. I got no just ridiculous again cut options, but if you're talking about guys who are truly like if you're talking trades, then we can open up the conversation just a little bit more, but for the most part that's kind of where I am. Maybe there's a world where what's the name? Jalen McLeod is better than folks expected him to be. McLeod is better than folks expected him to be, and maybe they end up getting off that contract with Emmanuel Ogbah. I can see something like that. They signed him for that 1-year deal, so it's not like they're going to extend it or anything like that. I think it'd be weird, but unless they had someone behind him just kind of show up. But I think that would at least be open because it's a 1-year contract. So maybe I can see something along those lines. Anything else you want to add, sir? Any other weird cuts or crazy predictions?
I feel like I mixed my Parker Washington in with the crack-headed side there. I know people are not going to like that at all. So
yes, Lord, you did. But it's great. But it's great for a Monday, man. Hey, man, happy Monday to y'all. I hope y'all enjoying y'all work week.
But yeah, before you run away, tell the world where you can be found, my friend.
Of course, you can always find us here, BigCatCountry.com. Save it as your favorites. We're going to obviously have you guys covered for rookie minicamp, for rookie minicamp, OTAs, all the practices, all the pressers. We got you. Travis D. Holmes on X, Travis D. Holmes on Big Cat on Blue Sky, on Instagram, all the socials. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, please like and subscribe us on YouTube. Please rate and review us wherever you catch your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, etc. What can you be found, sir? Of
course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads, as well as Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writing with the Fans First Sports Network, both for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Orlando Magic, as well as my work with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering UCF football and basketball on the Night Shift podcast, as well as the Night Shift YouTube channel. And yeah, I dropped an article recently there too that you might want to check out, since UCF's over under odds, Gary, in case you missed it before it is there. So for my good friend Travis D. Holmes, thank you all for checking in, and hope we were bold but not too bold, even though I know people are going to be mad about Parker Washington. Until next time, everyone, class